Today we're going to find out if a truck is, in fact, you know what? Let me put it right here. Let me put this right here. Is, in fact, a good family vehicle. So I'm going to go take this somewhere and we're going to park. But first things first, let's talk about some things. A truck, right? What is a truck for? What did a truck use? What were the uses for a truck before they became a family vehicle? So essentially, let's go open this up so you guys can see me. No, that's making it worse. That's making it worse. So essentially what happens is people used to use trucks for truck things, right? Hauling stuff, picking stuff up from the hardware store, truck things, farms. Well, things changed. And essentially what happened was people started using trucks for family vehicles. We all know this. I mean, like the number one selling vehicles in America are pickup trucks. So let's talk about this pickup truck and why I think trucks are the best family vehicles. And as you can see behind me, I already have car seats. I already use this as a family vehicle. But let's talk about some things. I'm going to pull in real quick right here, get out of the truck, and we're going to talk about why a truck is a great family vehicle. So a truck is humongous, right? A truck is huge. The best thing about a truck is the fact that these doors, almost every truck has this, they open almost at 90 degrees with the vehicle. Almost. Probably like 80 degrees, I'm not going to lie. There's so much space back here. In most of the SUVs that I've been in, I have dealt with putting in a car seat and this door is only like this, which that doesn't give you much space to get in to put in a car seat. So with this case, you have all the room. So this is the best thing about a pickup truck is that you have all this space right here. So let's go into the back of the pickup truck and talk about the space in the back so you can see how much space there is. So look at that. Look at that space. So now we're going to go on the inside real quick. I'm going to put it up in the tripod inside. So now you can see how wide the back seat is. There's enough room for 3 car seats. 3 car seats at different stages. Big kid, bigger kid, smaller kid. And there's still technically space for the seats to wiggle around. Obviously, they don't need to wiggle, but there's gaps in between for these seats. So I could put a baby seat in here, a toddler booster seat, and then the grow up, grow with you, whatever it's called, seat. All 3 of these seats fit back here, which means 3 adults fit back here. Obviously, I'm 5'8". I can technically sit right here in the middle. I'll move this out of the way. So I can technically sit here and I still have probably about 2 or 3 inches above my head. So again, being 5'8", I have all of the leg room. I probably have another foot in front of my knees sitting behind myself. And like I said, about 2 inches of headroom, which is obviously if you're a really tall person, that might not work for you, but it works for me. And this one is the one with the sunroof. That's what the thing is attached to right now. So there is a lot of headroom for someone that's average size. Um, there's a great amount of room back here. Now let's go to behind this and see why a truck is an even better family vehicle. So we already have the car seat placement. You can fit 3 car seats back here side by side, no problem. So if you have triplets, you'll be all right. If you have 3 kids at different stages, you'll be all right. If you have 2 kids and you have a third that's, a teenager, technically you'll be all right because they would fit back here. So you can put in a car seat really easily through here because of the fact that the doors open super wide. And now if we go behind this, it'll explain why I think trucks are the best family vehicle. So let's go do that. So this particular truck has the hard top. So obviously this also saves a lot of things from getting wet in here. This particular truck also has where you can drop it like a regular tailgate. And it also has barn doors to make it easier to get things in and out. So you get closer to inside of the truck bed. So the thing about this truck, besides having the hard top, I do this just because I don't know when I'm going to be picking up stuff. And sometimes I just pick up things that are pretty small. And that's the only downfall with the truck bed, is that if you pick up things that are small, they're just gonna fly around in here. So I always strap it down. It's not that hard to strap this thing down with the little bungee cord. So with groceries, that's our only downfall when we have groceries. So I do have these things here, these hooks that I can move around and adjust. So what I've done, and I'm probably going to do this in the future, every time I have groceries, I just push this bungee cord back, tie it up there, and if it's tall things, it won't fly around. And I usually put the big things in the back and then start going smaller towards the front. And then I close the tailgate, and everything fits perfectly. What I'll probably do in the future is kind of get one of those nets. Those nets seem like they'd work pretty good. And that's it. That's why a truck essentially is the best family vehicle right now. Now, I know people are going to say, well, in a minivan, you can do all the same things. You're right. A minivan is probably the best family vehicle, but a truck is everything you need. It's total utilitarian because you can haul your family, you can haul your stuff. I can put so many things back here. Obviously, with the hardtop, there is a limit to how much you can put back here. So you do have to worry about, things that are tall, but you can take this off. I've taken it off before. I sold the couch before and I delivered the couch in the truck. And I took this off, probably took maybe 10, 15 minutes to take it off and put it back on. The hardest part was dealing with the hydraulics back here. But once you get the back off and you get the front off and then taking it off with some help, because it is pretty heavy, it's not that hard. So maybe 7, 8 minutes to take it off, 7, 8 minutes to put it back on, and you're done. There is one benefit to this particular truck that most trucks and most vehicles out there do not have, and that is air suspension. This Ram has air suspension, and that makes it so much easier to do so many different things. And one of the things that it makes it easier to do is oil changes. So let me show you something. So oil changes, right? Most cars, you have to put them on a lift or put them on ramps to get underneath the truck. Right now, the truck is at a pretty low setting. It's not at its lowest setting. So if I go in the truck and I show you the lowest setting, so you do have to have the car closed all the way. You do have to have the footstep in before you can lower all the way down to as low as it goes. This is called the entry exit level. So it's lowering right now. I'm sure you can see it in the video. So now we're at the lowest level. So now, since we're at the lowest level, this is only for entry and exit. This is not for driving. Once you get to about 10 miles an hour, 15 miles an hour, it raises it up one level to aerodynamic. So right now we're going to go all the way to the top. This is off-road 2. You're not allowed to open the doors because then it stops everything from the raising and lowering. So you're supposed to stay still. You can do this while you're driving. It doesn't normal while you're driving because obviously the doors aren't being open. So right now it's at the 3rd level. Now it's at the 4th level. It's almost to the 5th level. There's technically 5 levels of raising and lowering, the highest level being off-road 2, the lowest level being entry and exit, and the 2nd level, which one I'm always on, is aerodynamic. And aerodynamic lets you do almost anything. You can drive it on the highway. You can drive, I mean, it's not low, right? And it's not high to where you're getting terrible gas mileage. Have I ever done a test where I have it on off-road 1 or aerodynamic or normal? And essentially, no, I haven't, to see how much of a difference it makes. But you can see how much higher the vehicle is now with off-road 2. And this also has a speed limit. So once you get to like 10, 15, it lowers to off-road 1. And then I'm not sure exactly where off-road 1 essentially drops down to normal, because there is a limit to those as well. Anything that's considered off-road or entry or exit does have a limit on speed. So you can see how much space I have now. This makes it so much easier to get underneath the vehicle to do oil changes. Obviously, you're not going to be doing brakes or changing tires or anything like that because you need to actually get the tires off the ground for this. But oil changes are so easy in a vehicle like this because of how high it gets. Now, I know you're going to say, well, almost every truck allows you to raise it if you get completely different suspension. Obviously, with this, you have everything you need. Now, I'm sure there is a way, if you're a person that likes your truck really low, like if you like set up your truck for street racing or something like that, I'm sure there's a way to tune the air suspension to go even lower, because when you saw how low it was, there was still probably a 2-inch gap above the tire. And this is a 22-inch rim right here, so this is a huge rim, and it's sitting pretty, I mean, this is pretty high off of the ground. So these in particular are 285 45 22s right there. That's pretty good. So that means you have a couple inches, maybe 3 inches here above the tire, below the tire. So that's another 5 or 6 inches there on top of the 22. So you probably got sitting at 27 right here. That's a pretty good size tire and wheel setup. And you still have, I would say, maybe 9 inches above the tire from the tire to the wheel arch here, and that's incredible, to be honest. So if I were to change the exhaust system, I could do it without raising the car off the ground. I could do it just by putting it in the off-road 2 position. That makes things so easy. And I know you're probably like, this guy's just selling his truck. No, I think the Ram is a great vehicle. Is there other vehicles that do different things? Absolutely. I just think this particular vehicle is amazing. Now, the only bad thing I'll ever say about the Ram is that this particular one has the 5.7 Hemi, which I wish it was bigger, but the only way to go bigger on the Ram is to either get a diesel, or I think you can only get the Hellcat in the TRX, but I don't know if you can get the 6.2 in the Ram. And obviously right now there is no 6.2 and no Hemi in the Ram. You can only get the new Hurricane 3-liter engine, the 3-liter inline 6 twin turbo, which I hear is amazing. Would I ever switch? Probably not. I think I like the Hemi too much. But I hear they're coming back on the trucks, and that is essentially why I think the pickup trucks are the best family vehicles. Now, obviously, there's pickup trucks that are single cab, and then there's crew cab, and then there's a bunch of different cabs, to be honest. So this one in particular obviously allows you to have a lot more space, but you lose all of that in the truck bed, because this is a 5 foot 6 inch truck bed, 5.5 feet truck bed. So I technically could have went up and found one that had the 6.5 foot and had more space, but then that makes the vehicle even bigger, and I didn't want that because I wanted to be able to commute everywhere. So that's essentially all I have to say really about why the truck is the best family vehicle. And I think most people would agree with me, because you can see a lot of people right now driving around in pickup trucks with their family in the back. And I particularly like buying stuff to build stuff, so I always need the truck bed. And that's essentially why I got the truck, because I needed a truck bed. I was using a SUV and I was hauling stuff around with a trailer, and I didn't want to do that anymore. One more thing I want to talk about before I leave you guys. Every time I need to haul something, I can haul in this without getting a trailer. I've already said that. If I were to need to use a trailer for something heavy, this can tow a lot more than the SUV can. So if I needed to tow around my vehicle for whatever reason, my Miata, I could put it on the trailer and I could take it wherever I need to go, and it would do just fine. Obviously, it will get terrible gas mileage, but that's just essentially all that happens. So that's it, really. That's really all I got. So if you made it this far, thank you guys for watching. As always, peace. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.